Hi everyone, this is Zohaib. Welcome to my YouTube channel Learning Edge Pro. And today in this lecture, lecture number 5, today I'm going to show you how you can populate your menu item data from home view model and by declaring its classes and how you can populate the data into your POS application. So let's get started. We are into our Visual Studio project. And first of all, we have to go into our home view model.cs. And here I'm going to add an additional observable property, which will be menu item because we have to populate the menu items into our POS application. So here's the menu item, and because it is a list which we have seeded in database, so we will populate the list here, and this will be an empty. So I have used this. After this, I'm going to set it as an observable property. So we are done. Now I have to declare it here, I guess. So we will be using menu items menu item from restaurant POS MOI dot data folder and dot menu item. So we have declared it here. So after that, what we are going to do is we just have to go here, category selected, and here in the initialize method, we are going to initialize our menu items. Await from database service, and we are going to create a method of get menu items by category async. And in the async, we are passing the parameter of selected category, that which category is selected, and by selecting that category, only the specific menu items related to that category should be showing. So we are going to use the ID here. Now we are good. After that, in after that, we are going to copy this thing, and we will be pasting it here. So that's it. And this is the select category async, that whenever the category is selected, so this will automatically get the selected menu items from that category. And after that, we will be using the isLoading feature. IsLoading equals to true. And when this is loaded, then isLoading equals to false. Now we are good. After that, we just go to our MainPage.xaml. And here where I have created the collection view. Here it is. So I just do this categories. And under this, I'm going to create an other grid row, which will be grid.raw. It will be 2, and we will be calling an activity indicator because whenever our data is getting fetched, so before showing the data, the activity indicator should be loading. So our activity indicator is now completed. And after this, I am going to create green. Yeah, it is good. And now we are good. Okay. So basically in the grid draw 2, now we have to customize our POS application. For that, I'm going to create a box view. And in the box view, I'm going to use an horizontal options, which will be visible. After this, I'm going to show the is visible, that is item is visible or not. So we will be binding it with is loading because in the back coding, I have set it by default false. Whenever the data is loaded, it should be true. So an opacity, whenever the data is getting fetched, will be 0.5. Vertical options will also be filled. The color which we will be using will be, I guess, black. Okay, it will be good. I think we are now good. Now we are going to style some. Okay, sorry. Now we are going to style our activity indicator. For that, I'm going to set it height request as 25, horizontal options as center, is running we have already binded it with, and the vertical options will be center with request be 25 also, and the color should be green. So now we are good in our grid column. After that, I'm going to go into my home view model, and here I am going to search for the selected category. Okay, here it is. Now after that, I'm going to await this and going to task.delay just to show you guys how it is showing. So that's good. So let's start the application to show you. As you can see, our indicator is working perfectly fine. And when the data will get fetched, so it should be shown here. For that, I'm going to build a styling here in MainPage.xaml. So for that, I'm going to go into my collection view. I have to create another collection view here inside the grid.raw. Okay, so I'm just going to create a collection view, which will be taking the data from item source, which will be binding with menu items. So that's good. Our collection view is now created. Now in the collection view, I'm just going to create an items layout. And in the items layout, I'm going to show the grid by which my item should be shown. So horizontal item spacing should be 10. Orientation should be vertical. Span should be 4. And I think vertical spacing should be, I guess, 10. Okay, so now we are good. We have created an items layout. Now we are going to work on our collection view template. For that, I'm going to items template. And in the items template, I'm going to show my data, which will be fetched from my database. Data template, data type, and the data should be populated from menu item here. So now we are good. Now just run the application to show if our data is showing perfectly fine. Okay, before that, I need to close the task.delay. Okay, it is now loading perfectly fine. Okay, so now I just have to close this task.delay, and I'm commenting this. Now we are going to edit our data template in items template. So for that, we have to create a data template. So here I'm going to create an ending tag for data template here. And here I am going to put the border. And in the border, it should be a vertical stack layout. And in the vertical stack layout, I am again using the border, inner border, in which our image should be shown. And it should be static resource. What should we keep it? Okay, we will keep it as green, I guess. No, wheat. Wheat color should be perfectly fine for it. And height request should be 150. And image should be a maximum height request of 150. Source from where I am getting my images is binding with icon, which I have defined in our models. And the width request should be 250. Okay, now I'm good. After that, we are going to create a label to show the name of the specific item. For the text, I'm going to bind it with name, and the text color should be black. So now we are good. And after this, binding this name, we are going to bind an other thing, which will be a description. So in the description, I'm going to use a label text, binding it with description, and the text color I am again using as black. Okay, I will define it later in the library, so it will only be selecting the black color if I define only once. Now for that, after description, we are going to use our flex layout just to show the pricing, because the pricing should be shown under the description. So for the justify content, it should be space between. Wait, space between. In the flex layout, I'm going to show a label of price, which will be binding with price. And the string format I'm going to use is by default a currency. Okay, I'm missing the commas here. Okay, now we are good. So let's put the ending tag here. Now we are good. After this, I'm going to use the image button. Okay, it's not a part thing. Okay, now let's run the application to get know how we are creating our POS application. Okay, as you can see, our data is now showing perfectly fine here. Now we are just going to style some better. If we select the main course, only the main course things are getting populated. If we select the snacks, only the snacks related things are getting populated. And as you can see, our loader uh, is working perfectly fine. So we now close the POS application. And in the uh, where it is here in the border, I'm going to use some padding because our data is just so much congested. So, and we are going to use a stroke of color, I think gray, and the stroke shape should be round rectangle with 10 from borders. So it's perfectly fine. In the vertical stack layout, we are going to give a spacing of 10, and background color is wheat. I have defined the height request, and the last thing which I have to define is stroke thickness. Okay, its stroke thickness should be 0 just to enhance the data thing. After this, where I have binded the icon here, in this, I'm going to set its horizontal option as center because our images is not aligned and expect to be also center. After this, I'm going to use my width. Okay, I have already defined the width request and just going to use the vertical options as center. Now we are good. After this, in description thing, it should be a font size of something smaller, and text color should be gray just to beautify the things. And now we are going to create a image button here, and for that I'm going to use image button from source. We are calling it, I'll define it later. And the background color would be, okay, we are not using a background color. I am just defining the source directly. For that I have to check which image should I pick to cart. Well, this is our image, so now we have to just define our image here. Add underscore to cart dot png from where we are using our source. So this is perfectly defined well, and where I've defined the columns definition 0.725. Now I'm going to give some padding, which I've already defined of 15. So now I think we are good, and the text color should be white or black. Okay, and the font size should be 22. I think now we are good. Now let's run the application to check if our data is perfectly fine. Okay, we are getting some errors here. So what are the errors? I don't know. Okay, I have in the initialize component. And what's the error here? Think text color and error while parsing the. Okay, here. There's I'm getting some issues. So let's check here in the application and rebuild it again. Okay, now we are succeeded. Now just use the text color again as black. I think it should be working perfectly fine. Let's run the application. Okay, as you can see, here's my name. The image is slightly bigger, so I will set it later. Okay, my price is not showing, but all the data is getting perfectly fine. Okay, now just let's uh, arrange the image here. For that, I'm going to set it height request as 50, I guess, and width request also as 50. Run the application again. Okay, it's now a bit minimized if we stretch our POS application. Okay, now I think it's working perfectly fine. Now here our price should be shown. So for now, that's it. I hope you like the video. For more upcoming videos, just stay tuned. Press the subscribe button, press the bell icon so you will never miss an update.